Okay, this is a review on how to find the orthocenter of a triangle. And this is to help on assignment 5-5-3 review. And this problem specifically is problem number 10B. Okay, so to find the orthocenter of a triangle using the graphing method, first you need to graph the triangle like shown here. This is problem 10B, the triangle that is graphed. And the orthocenter is found by where the three altitudes of a triangle meet. Okay, and an altitude is a line that goes from a segment that goes from any vertex and is going to be perpendicular to the opposite side. Okay, so what we need to do first is pick any side and find the slope of any side of the triangle. Okay, so let's just start with this side here. We'll start with side AC. And if we find the slope of AC, okay, to go from A to C, we need to figure out the rise and the run to get from A to C. So to go from A to C, my rise is up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there's my rise, up 8, and over 1, 2. Okay, and this is going to be a positive slope because this side of the triangle is going up in a positive direction. So if I simplify that slope down, that side has a slope of 4/1. All right, now to find the altitude using that slope, we got to find a slope that is perpendicular to the slope we just found, 4/1. And a slope that's going to be perpendicular to that is going to be known as what's called the negative reciprocal of that slope. Okay, which means our perpendicular slope is going to have the opposite sign and the fraction is going to be flipped. Okay, so if we do that, if we find the negative reciprocal of 4/1, that is going to be negative, and it's going to be 1/4. Okay, so that's the slope I want to use to create my first altitude. And what I'm creating is I found the slope of AC, so I'm going to find a segment that starts at B and is going to be perpendicular to AC, to this side here. Okay, using that slope, negative 1/4. Okay, so we're going to draw our first altitude. So I'm going to start at B, and I'm going to be going up 1 and over 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, notice how that is going, that altitude is going to go in a negative direction because we have a negative slope. I can do that again, up 1, over 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I got a couple points, and I can connect that with a straight line. And that is going to be our first altitude of that triangle. Okay, so if you notice, this altitude is making a 90-degree angle with side AC. All right, so there's altitude number 1. We just got to find one more altitude, and then we will be able to find the orthocenter because it'll be where the two altitudes are crossing. Okay, so let's just start with another side. Let's say we're going to find the slope of side CB. Okay, so for CB, we're going to find that slope. Okay, so CB, this side is going in a negative direction because it's going to the left, so it's going to be a negative slope. And to get from B to C, it looks like I'm going up 1, 2, 3. I'm going over 1, 2, 3. Okay, pretty simple slope, negative 3/3, which would simplify down to a negative 1/1. All right, now I just need the negative reciprocal of that slope, which since it's negative, now it's going to be positive, and this fraction flipped is just going to be 1 over top of 1. Okay, so there is my perpendicular slope that I'm going to use starting from A to make a line that's going to be perpendicular to this side CB. Okay? And when we do that, watch what's going to happen. This one's kind of unique. Okay, so I'm starting at A. I'm going to use this slope up 1 over 1 to get to side CB. So from A, I'm going up 1 over 1. Okay, right there. Up 1 over 1. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Every time I go up 1 over 1, it's staying on this side. So my altitude for A is going to start here, and it's going to follow that side CB, and it meets up right in that location. Now, why did it do that? It did that because this particular triangle happens to be a right triangle because this angle here is a right angle. So that means our altitude, the line that makes a right angle with side CB, is a line that follows that side right there because it was already a right angle. Okay, so the spot where our two altitudes met is right here at this location, and that's going to be our altitude. Since it is a right triangle, our altitude happens to be on the right angle of the right triangle. So our altitude here is 8,7. Okay. If it was an acute triangle, then our altitude would be somewhere inside the triangle. If it was an obtuse triangle, our altitude would be somewhere outside of the triangle. But this one was a right triangle, so our altitude existed right there on the right angle. Okay, I hope this helps. Let me know if you have other questions.